What is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of Brotherly Love. I'm your host, Stephen Rochelle, here on That Sports Network. And I'm going to have some fun with you this afternoon. I'm going to be joining by my NFL brother from another mother, Mr. TJ McKinley, is going to be hopping on. We're going to be talking, all the news and notes of the NFL this week 2 of the preseason. Get into some crazy predictions, Mount Rushmore, Hall of Fame talk. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, talk about a little bit of everything. So, what is up, TJ, my friend? How are we doing this afternoon?
What's up, Steven? Thanks for having me on. My name is TJ McKinley, and can't wait to get started.
Oh man, we're gonna have a fun one. I mean, obviously, lots of stuff going on in the NFL. Where I feel like fans have been waiting for actual football to get here since the draft. There was a crazy free agency, and technically the offseason still hasn't stopped being crazy with. You have some disgruntled superstars this offseason in multiple different cities and things of that nature. And I feel blessed that my GM Howie Roseman dodged a bullet. Trading out Hassan Reddick for future draft capital, and you brought in a guy like Bryce Huff to replace him and signed him to a contract. Very important to sign the contract because that's going to be the kind of focal point of this conversation. Because Hassan Reddick took the trade, went to the Jets. Everything sounded like it was hunky dory, and for whatever reason, the Jets thought he was going to play without a contract. He made it very well and clear that's why he was traded from here to there, that he wanted a contract. He was in Japan. He was doing all kinds of kind of crazy stuff. How did the Jets literally fumble the ball here? Because they're in a bad situation. Hassan has asked for a trade. He's not gonna come in until he gets a contract. He was talking something to the avenue of, like, the top pass rusher in the NFL. What are your thoughts on this, and how bad did the Jets fumble this one?
I feel like the Jets are the Jets. They always making dumb trades. They're always making dumb decisions. So you picked up a player that didn't have a guaranteed contract. You should at least wait at first to see. People talk behind the scenes what his agent is asking for, what kind of money that Hassan wants. But instead, the Jets being the Jets, you just picked up a player with no guaranteed contract, no behind the scenes negotiations. You know how they do. Just basically, you just picked up a player. You already know he want a lot of money. He feel as if he is, but sometimes he feels as if he's one of the top pass rushers, top linebackers, basically top defensive players. So he's going to want a lot of money. So the Jets being the Jets, as I stay on multiple podcasts, they just do what they do. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad one. Wherever he goes, he's going to need that money. It's interesting. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know who's going to pay him, but I'm just glad. I'm just glad my team dodged a bullet on that one by getting rid of it. But that's not the only thing going on this season. Obviously, from what I'm hearing, at some point in time over the next week, Brandon Ayuk should be traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He should be getting his contract, and that should be a done deal. But wait, we're not done with San Francisco. The beast incarnate himself, arguably the best left tackle in the NFL for the last 10 years. Trent Williams wants a new contract. He's literally the linchpin to that offensive line right in San Francisco. That absolutely has to get done. Then on top of that, Christian McCaffrey's got a soft tissue injury again, and it looks like he's going to miss some time, at least at the beginning part of training camp. Hopefully he'll be ready to go for the start of the season. But San Francisco's in just as bad as a shape right now as Ayuk is it wants to trade, and he's in that same ballpark. He wants top 3 money in the position, if not the highest paid player in that position. He's kind of earned that with his numbers. He has the most yards per catch over the last 3 seasons. He's the one that kind of is that security blanket when can't get it to Debo, can't get it to Kittle. He's Brock Purdy's security blanket, if you ask me, when he needs a big play. So he's gonna looks like he's gonna be going to Pittsburgh, but San Francisco could be in some trouble losing that top spot this season. You think?
I agree with you. San Francisco is one of them teams where when you make multiple Super Bowls in so many years, every player on the team, agent is going to want their player to make max contracts. So, Brandon, how you say, Ayuk?
Yeah, Ayuk.
Yeah, yeah, I see the Steelers are offering him over $28 million, and I see the Patriots, they're offering $30 million. My Cleveland Browns, he didn't say he want to play for us. But I believe he's in the $30-$35 million range for wide receiver positions. And I believe that the Steelers, the 49ers, I don't think they're going to get him the contract because, as you stated, the offensive lineman, Trevor Williams, they have to pay him. The defensive players, they have to pay them. They have other, and they're like a running offense, so they have they're more of a running team more than a passing team. But yeah, I feel like I've seen this coming with teams like 49ers and the Chiefs going through a situation also where players want max contracts and you just can't pay everybody because everybody not valuable as the next man. So, but when it comes to Brandon Ayuk, I believe he earned the contract, but do I believe 49ers have the budget to pay him? Probably not. So it depends on how they want to move on for the future.
Listen, if I'm Lynch and looking at the landscape of this thing, find somebody who wants to pay him, get as much back as you can from him, and it is what it is at this point in time. You know, you're gonna have to pay Trent Williams, which is, you know, probably gonna be something, you know, $25 million a year, something to that effect for that position. It might even be more than that, but and you know. Hopefully, obviously they'll still be a playoff team. Maybe even 12, 13 win team still, regardless of Ayuk not being there. They're that good on both sides of the ball. But then we still have another team in the mix with lots of contract issues going on. The Dallas Cowboys, obviously, us Philadelphia fans love poking fun at the Cowboys, but it looks like it's getting nuclear over there. I mean, it's normally bad. But it's getting nuclear over there. I mean, CeeDee Lamb has asked for a contract. Jerry Jones going out said he's not in any concern to go and get that done right now. He's holding out. You still have Dak has a contract situation. I think the writing's on the wall that he's going to play it out and walk, and they're going to do it. Either they're going to draft a quarterback in the draft next year, free agency, whatever. I think that his time may be up there. And you still have Micah Parsons that needs a contract there too. So the Dallas is in a real peculiar place because those three names are literally the three biggest stars that they have. And we just seen what would happen with the New York Giants this offseason. I'm not saying that, any one of those three guys will wind up here in Philadelphia or whatever, but the fact that you're going to lose arguably the face of your team right at this point in time, with each one of them needing, being at the end of rookie deals, a la Lamb and Parsons, and that going. I mean, it could be a completely different landscape if this time next season if Dallas doesn't figure something out to retain their young talent.
Jerry know what he be doing. At this point, I feel like this is a game he play. It's like Eric going all the way back to Emmitt Smith. It's like all his star players, every time they have to end their contract and they have all these multiple great seasons, they're about to leave. I feel like this is more of a media scandal because it's always right before the regular season starts. Dez Bryant, DeMarcus Ware, Emmitt Smith. It's like always your top Tony Romo. It's like every time they have multiple great seasons and then it gets to the final option. Oh, it's a contract dispute. I believe CeeDee Lamb is going to get paid. Micah Parsons, I believe his contract is up at the end of the 2025 season. He the best player on defense. He's the future on defense. He sell tickets. Dak Prescott, I believe the team wants to move on from Dak, but they can't because they're not good at
that max contract time, and he's not max contract player no more.
He won't max contract, but dude, you're not. You and Zeke, yeah, you and Ezekiel, y'all had your little run, but it's time for somebody else. It's like the Tony Romo effect, as I've said
Oh,
the other.
literally, he's got Tony Romo disease. You got it on the head, brother. You got it on
Yeah,
the
like
head.
when everybody, this problem that's happened with Tony Romo, then that came in. Oh, it was, how Cowboy fans get. It was forget Tony Romo. Now that Dak is getting Tony Romo treatment, they're going to draft a quarterback who may or may not come in and, do good. And then it's going to be Dak, he's the new Tony Romo. So Dallas always does this with, they're good at drafting players sometimes, not all the time. But when it comes to paying them and make sure they get guaranteed contracts, I feel like this is just a way to get the team some attention, get the fans, worrying before the season starts. Probably they're all going to get paid. Jerry always does this.
I don't mean to gloat, but I think Harry Roseman has given everyone a masterclass over the last 2 seasons of how to retain your young talent and stay under the cap.
True.
When Jalen Hurts signed the contract, everyone was like, "Oh my God, why did he pay him that money?" Now you look at it, he's like 7th on the list as top paid quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah,
I don't have a with that. AJ Brown got a big contract when he got here, and then got an extension. And then not only does AJ get the extension, but you also get Devontae Smith the extension, and bring in Saquon Barkley. Under those names I just mentioned, all those contracts equals to what Daniel Jones got paid by the New York Giants. That is sickening. That is sickening. And
do you feel like the NFC, what is it, East? Do you feel like there's any threat to the Eagles this year?
I mean, I feel that Dallas will always be a threat. We got to see what Washington's going to be. It's kind of a whole new regime up front and everything like that. So, give them a year or two. You never know; they might be back in the mix. They drafted a young quarterback. They got some players on offense, and they did get kind of sold out on defense the last few years with the sale of the team, but. I think the Giants aren't really there, but the Cowboys are always there in the regular season for whatever is. They're around 10, 12, 13 wins, whatever. But, they do what they do when it comes to the December and January. So it's one of those things. I mean, I'm never going to look past anyone, especially in my division, nor, if you're an Eagles fan, you see what happened last year. We started off, we were white hot. Then the end of the season, all the wheels fell off. Couldn't do anything right. Couldn't cover anybody. Couldn't do anything. So everything had to get. Look, we had a bad end of the year. You got guys that are pissed off and want to get that bad taste out of your mouth. That's how Kelsey retires and Cox retires and things of that nature. This is now Brandon Graham's retirement tour. So it's like one of these things. I think you're going to see a little bit of edge to the Philadelphia Eagles this season, on top of the players they brought in, the players they brought back, things of that nature. I think it's going to be a fun year. At least if you're an Eagles fan, we'll see what happens. I mean, no less than a NFC championship run is kind of the lowest part that I would take from this team with everything is. You did lose last year. You were at a Super Bowl the year before. Expectations are going to be high. They have the talent to do it. It's up to them to just execute and do what they need to do. We'll see what happens, with the new offense with Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio on the other side. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be fun to see what happens in the NFC. I think, I still think the Rams are a tough team. The 49ers are going to be a tough team. And, don't sleep on Green Bay or Detroit. So you're going to see a lot of teams that are still going to be able to kind of be in the mix in the NFC, not just in the East. So I think it's going to be a fun year for everybody. I said it, right after the draft. I don't think anybody is going to look at their team and say they don't have any hope for them this season. That's what I liked, what I seen coming into this year from the offseason from every team. If you're a Browns fan, if you're a Bengals fan, if you're a Falcons fan, everyone has something to be happy about. So I think it's going to be a fun year for football. What do you think, brother? DJ?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I was saying, what do you
Yeah,
think, bro?
this basically this basically a dream team 2.0. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, and Deshaun Jackson. This basically the dream team 2.0. Now, can y'all not be injury prone? Luckily, y'all don't have a coach named Chip Kelly. I don't know what he was doing. Luckily, y'all actually have a stable defense that don't get injured like that team. Because that team mainly was offensive based, but the defense was decent. But this time around, the Eagles actually have a solid foundation on defense that first team. So overall, I feel like all the way. But the only problem I see is if Saquon don't get injured, because Saquon do have some. As I don't know if he was just acting because he was in New York, he was trying to get up on his contract, but he does he does have this history of, I guess, injury prone. And Devontae Smith,
Here's this thing. What was he doing in New York? He was carrying that team, right? He was carrying that team. There was nobody around him, so he was getting hurt because he was sitting there having to break 9 tackles before trying to gain 10 yards. Okay, so if he's having to do that, imagine what's going to happen here with arguably the best offensive line in the NFL when we're talking from tackle to tackle. You know, you could make some arguments for some teams. I don't think anyone would want to mess with this team. You got a Jordan Mailata, you got a Landon Dickerson. Yeah, Kelsey's gone, but literally the guy they drafted was literally Kelsey's pick, arguably, because it was like, Howie gave him a list of guys and he picked Cam Jurgens. Cam Jurgens started 6 games at guard last season and had some injuries, things of that nature. So like you said, there's things to worry about, but they got depth. They brought in the tackle from the Jets that was a first round draft pick a few years ago. He's gonna be playing guard. They brought in a Matt Hennessy from Atlanta to give you stuff depth. They still have a Tyler Steele, and then you still have Lane Johnson, who's the best right tackle in all of football. So
he's getting older though.
Yes, he is. I still think he's got 3-4 more years. But that's a conversation for another day. Saquon's never ran behind a line like that. Not just that, where now they can't load up the box. They can't bring the safety down and do that when you have AJ and Slim Reaper and then Dallas Goedert moving. You're not going to be able to do that with him. So he's going to be able to bounce those runs outside, and he's probably not going to get touched until he gets to the second level. So he's not going to get banged up as much. I mean, obviously, it's a concern for anyone when we're talking about the running back position because it's a crazy game. But you also have to remember it's going to be a different rule this year with the whole drop tackle thing. So I think guys might be a little gun shy on getting that 15-yarder, and you're gonna see Saquon work. I would not be surprised if he has over 200K total yards. Would not be surprised. We'll see.
You think he
again? Like I said, it's going to be an interesting season. What's that?
You think he gonna reach the 2K milestone, the 2,000 yards?
Not rushing. Total yards. He will have 2K total yards this season, without a doubt. He's gonna get a lot of balls out of the backfield. I think he's going to cause total mismatches for this defense. I'm so excited to see what this team is going to do. I really am.
I believe Devontae Smith needs to put some more weight on him. I feel like sometimes he quick, but I feel like he be getting bullied sometimes by the corners, depending on who he's matched up against. I believe he needs to put some more weight on. Jalen Hurts,
I don't know who gets the better contested catches. AJ or Devontae. Devontae's like freaking Mr. Highlight Reel with his catches. I mean, AJ's still freaking an animal, man. But
yeah, they're good. They
those
got
two, I
different.
mean, for not having wide receivers for the longest time. What do you say, brother?
What was the question?
Best duo in the league right now, AJ and Devontae, correct?
Yeah, they're the best doing in the league. Because other teams they have wide receiver issues because as we already stated, they're having problems with contract negotiations or they're drafting young talent. But I believe Devontae and AJ they're already established pieces and they're fit the offense with Jalen Hurts, who's a scrambling quarterback, and then you have to worry about Saquon in the backfield. So you have too many angles and coverages you got to come with to cover all of them players. And the secondary, the guys behind them in the depth chart, I believe they can come in and fill the gaps where in case one of them goes down, somebody get injured. The offensive line, as you stated, they're decent. The tight end position, that's gonna be a good position because the coverage is gonna be focused on Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, but the tight end they can come and get short yardages or long yardages because everybody focuses on them too. So this team is kind of built like Kansas City when they still had Tyreek Hill, where everybody's focused on Tyreek and Kelsey wasn't really. He was becoming that guy, but he wasn't really that guy yet. So everybody focused on the deep threat and not the short yardages. That's where Kelsey came in. Now it's a different story, but yeah, this team, they're going all the way.
We'll see. I hope you're right there, but we'll see how the season plays out. Now, obviously, on some last minute NFL notes, obviously the injury bug is flying. The injury bug is flying. The Lions, lost Jay Gibbs. He's got another hamstring injury. We already talked about McCaffrey being hurt. Vikings just lost their number one draft pick, JJ McCarthy. He blew his knee out. He's done for the season. Minnesota and their quarterback woes to just continue. I would not want to be a Minnesota Vikings fan right now, but you also seen Hollywood Brown had that clavicle injury, so he's probably gonna miss 4 weeks or more than that. There's always something during training camp, brother. So we're already seeing it flying around. Who's taking the biggest hit? It has to be Minnesota now, right?
Well, JJ McCarthy and what's his name, Hawkinson, the tight end. I feel like, and Shaquille Griffin. I feel like they're more minor. I mean, they're big name players, but they're like minor injuries for the Vikings. Even though JJ McCarthy had a season injury on his Achilles or knee, yeah. Minnesota can't catch a break for nothing, man. They're always going through something.
They've had quarterback injuries for like the last 5 years in a row. I mean, seriously, it's bad.
Detroit.
I can't. Like I said, I would not be a Vikings fan. But if I'm Harry Roseman, I'm calling Minnesota. I'm like, you want Kenny Pickett for a first round draft pick in 2 years? I mean, they did sign, what was it, Dalton? They did sign Dalton, right?
Andy Dalton.
Yeah, didn't they sign Andy Dalton in the offseason to kind of be like
the mentor for I didn't even know he was. I didn't know he was still in the league.
I don't know. I think we'll see, man. Man,
these other two teams.
I just hope the rest of the teams kind of get through it major injury free. We don't need no guys missing no time, no big name players. Last season it was a big one, man. So we'll see how this season plays out.
I hope it's not too crazy with the injuries.
Yeah, right. Now, the next one I wanted to go. Obviously we just passed the Hall of Fame game, right? So you just had your inductees. Us Eagles fans, Merrill Reese got in there, and we had our first kick returner, and obviously, us guys from the 2000 era, Devin Hester was the cheat code of kick returns, punt returns. So I wanted to ask you this one in likeness of this. TJ, who is your Mount Rushmore of kick returners?
Everybody expected us to say Deion Sanders. I'm not going to say Deion Sanders. He's an honorable mention. I'm not going to say Deion Sanders.
Honorable mention, you're right.
I got my list. I got Dante.
Yep, you got it. You got the right one. The right one from the start.
Dante Hall, 10,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Even though he don't have them fancy numbers according to the new standards, Dante Hall is always a highlight reel. And he's one of them type players you had to be running on kicker. It wasn't one of them type players he could just break out any given moment. Devin Hester, 19 touchdowns, 14 punt returns. That's an NFL record. 5 kick returns. Returned the Super Bowl was at 41 against the Colts. I think that's really what put him on the map. He was already known from
You got to remember. If the Bears don't fall apart in that game, that Devin Hester is probably the Super Bowl MVP and would have beaten Peyton Manning. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
That offense they had was horrible. That defense was good, but the Bears' offense was trash.
Rex Grossman, oh man.
Devin Hester single-handedly was having them in the game on kickoff return and punt. But yeah, Devin
Hester was probably calling Jim McMahon. You sure you can't suit up for one game, bro?
Man, that Bears offense was garbage, man.
Oh man.
Let's see. He got NFL record of 14 punt returns. I don't think people understand how hard it is to punt return. Kickoff return, yeah, punt return when you have only you back there and you got 11 dudes coming at you, people not really blocking the front on punt. I don't think he's going to have 14 and he only played 11 years in the NFL. Yeah, that's a feat for itself. Brian Mitchell.
Yeah, there you go. B. Mitch. Us NFC East guys know Brian Mitchell, number 30, very well. Didn't matter if he was a Redskin, an Eagle, or he was even a New York Giant too. So yeah, Brian Mitchell is definitely one of the guys on my list too.
13 total returns, 14,000 return yards. He did play 14 years. So, yes, he had an extra 3 years than Devin Hester, who only did it in 11. But I put him up there. What's another one? I had another person.
Huh? I want to see where you go with this because there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them that I typically
I was going to say.
My coin flip, I agree with you on the first 3. My coin flip for this last one, it goes either way. It's either former Lion Mel Gray. Everyone forgets about Mel Gray because he was one of the years older guys, but also everyone forgets Darren Sproles too.
That's what I was gonna say.
Darren Sproles for the Chargers and the Eagles was another one. He was, that was Mighty Mouse right there.
2 feet tall. Those could not tackle him. You had to legit get all the way down. It wasn't Darren Sproles. That's my 4th one. My honorable mention, Deion Sanders, because Deion was more of a fancy player.
Deion's on there, but I think I put Mel Gray above him. He's one of these older line guys. Not a lot of people know about, but he's one of my guys on that list. Like I said, Darren Sproles. Deion's on there just because he was primetime, but he didn't always return kicks and punts.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because he was sitting. If that was a long drive, I don't think I'd want my breather, my water to get some energy in between that. And also, people tend to forget that after those games, he'd fly to wherever in the country his baseball team was to play for them too. Deion was a crazy man at them days.
A lot of players don't do that anymore. I don't think you can. Can you play 2 sports?
I mean, at some point in time, you have to choose to miss time from one or the other because how it overlaps. Like, all right, like you're good now, right? Like he'd probably still be able to kind of report for camp and do things like that. miss a few games, get some days off to do that, right? But say if your team goes in the postseason, that's like the nitty gritty for the football season. You have a month of overlapping from September is the last month of the baseball season, which is the first month of football season. But if your team went in the postseason, it's an issue, and it eventually became an issue for him in the Atlanta Braves.
I think the last player I can remember recently was Jameis Winston. Wasn't he going to play baseball? No. Kyler Murray. My bad. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was good at baseball and football.
He should probably go back to baseball. He should probably go back to baseball. But he's got a legit weapon this year, so we got to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. X factor is this season, so to speak. If you're a Madden head, if he really is the X factor this season, there are not like I said earlier, no one has a bum outlook. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is at least as good as his father was, Arizona's gonna be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I think the last person I remember was not Jamie. He did play though, but it was Kyler Murray because he got drafted in the first round, I believe, in the MLB draft. Then he got drafted, was it first overall, first or second by the Cardinals, and they kept talking about he can't play both sports. And I believe he could, but I get it. Contracts, deals, you don't want to get injured.
Because he was basically the number 1 or 2 overall pick in the NFL, he's getting paid right away here. With baseball, it's no guaranteed, regardless if he was the number 1 overall pick in baseball or not, that you're not going to play for 3, 4, 5 years because you're developed, because how the development works from baseball to football. There's guys that have gone drafted number 1 overall and never seen the light of day of a baseball field. It's crazy.
That's crazy. There's some dudes like that for real. Number 1 overall, they never made it to the majors.
The general manager just passed away, Billy Beane. He was, was the name. He was the architect for the Oakland A's teams. They were trying to do that whole mathematics things in baseball, right? He's the guy that kind of helped introduce that into baseball. But he was a number 1 pick for the Mets, I think, way back when, and he just never, they told him, "Oh, you're a 5-tool guy." They were telling his parents all this stuff, but he just never developed. He eventually became like a scout and then GM and things of that nature. So, like baseball, I think the chances are harder than if you're a good football player. If you're a good football player and you get drafted, listen, there should be no question about it. Everyone talks about, Tom Brady could have been. Listen, if you're getting it in football, you have a chance to play immediate. There's no minor leagues in the NFL. Where baseball, it could be 6 years before you get a sniff of them at Major League Baseball. So if I'm a young man and I got a contract in front of me, I love baseball. I'll always love baseball. If you're a kid, man, that's kind of almost your first love. But football, that money's guaranteed immediately, and you play immediately. But if you can do it in baseball, if you are it, man, them baseball players get paid money. But I would not want to do that run, man. 162 games plus another possible 40 games if you go deep in a playoff run, almost 200 games a year. That's a lot, man. That's a lot of mileage.
Yeah, I played though baseball. We ain't never lose. My coach's name was Jason. He'd be sitting there eating them sunflower seeds, and every time we be down, he just get real calm, because in practice he used to go smooth off. Guys, we be down, he just be super calm like this. he be like no reverse guys. Look, and then he be like, Tashawn, my real name Tashawn. He's like, Tashawn, get up there and hit the ball. So look, cause I didn't used to try because I didn't care. Everybody he gonna miss it. He gonna miss because I didn't care. But then when I hit the ball, he be, all right, let's go. Everybody, we ain't never lose though. We went undefeated the 2 years. 2 out of the 3 years, we went undefeated preseason all the way through.
And big shout out to Council Rock, Bucks County, because they're in the Little League World Series. As we're talking a little baseball real quick, but changing gears right back here. Last few questions before we get ready to kind of wrap things up. We were talking beforehand. Obviously excited for the season and things of that nature. We're 2 weeks away for or so before the kickoff of the season. What's your way too early predictions for the season? Who do you think's gonna show out? Who do you think's gonna fizzle? Who do you think's gonna raise the Vince Lombardi Trophy at the end of the season? What are you feeling like?
I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of already said it. I feel that Saquon's gonna have a big year, but rebound year, things of that nature. I still think the Chiefs are gonna be really tough to beat and stop. They haven't taken a step backwards. They've retained everybody. Things of that nature. I wouldn't be surprised if you see another MVP type of year out of Patrick Mahomes and them down there. I think it might be the last few years you're going to get out of Travis. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens there in the AFC. I think the team you're going to see fizzle is going to be the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to take a step back. A lot is riding on Josh Allen to carry that team this year. And I think it's going to be a little bit too much for him this year. And the Bills might take a step back. There are still some young guys on that team that could produce and help them out. But, we've seen that team kind of barely hang on, and Josh Allen has literally carried them. We were literally just talking about how it was burning out Saquon Barkley, and he just came to Philadelphia because he couldn't do it anymore, right? And I think Josh Allen is getting ready to do that if the Buffalo Bills don't start really putting some pieces around Josh Allen, that he maybe start having those conversations of Marino, not being that really good quarterback, possibly great quarterback that just did not have the pieces around him. Even more so Jim Kelly, the guy that was already there in Buffalo. So, but I think you're going to see a good run. I'm not sure who you're going to see step up in the NFC. I guess I am a little biased right now with seeing what is, but tell me another team that has retained and improved as much as the Philadelphia Eagles this past offseason. I think the Devin White signing at linebacker is underrated. I'm pretty sure that Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is going to contribute to this team this season. I know he was a late round pick. I think there's some other late round gems that the Eagles did get. They addressed the cornerback position. You bring in a guy like Quinyon Mitchell and then Cooper DeJean. You also bring back a Devontae Maddox that had a season-ending injury, and you bring back a CJ Gardner-Johnson. I think they're in a nice position. Filled holes, having certain guys leave. I think Fletch retiring is good for Jordan Davis and and Mr. Jalen Carter, who arguably had the best first half of his rookie year. So yeah, I think that there's a lot that you could see. I still think the sleeper team, because I think 49ers will take a step back. Watch out for the Rams. Watch out for the Rams. You still have Matthew Stafford, Puka, and Cooper Kupp is still a lethal combination. Yeah, you just lost Aaron Donald, the best defensive player over the last 10 years or so. Arguably, you could say T.J. Watt or something something to that nature. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think you see a lot of fun and coming out of the NFL this year, and Jalen Hurts' revenge tour should be fun to watch. That's all I'll say.
All right, my predictions. I have the AFC North going to be competitive between the Ravens and the Browns, maybe the Steelers and the Bengals, but I believe they're not going to be top two. I believe my Browns are going to go I think we're gonna be a wild card because I feel like just like with the Josh Allen situation, Lamar
I don't
Jackson.
think you're gonna be a wild card. I think you're gonna steal that division. I think. Listen, man, y'all defense is no joke. I'm not
Yeah,
playing. Y'all defense is no joke, man. Garrett don't get the love that he deserves, man. He is an absolute monster over there. I think you're gonna steal that division.
I believe, but like I was about to say, like with the Josh Allen situation, as long as Baltimore has the right offensive scheme for that they're running through Lamar Jackson, and as long as because as soon as Lamar get injured, we already know the Ravens are going downhill. It's just honest. So I believe Lamar Jackson. I think he going through the Russell Wilson effect. He can't keep carrying the offense year in year out. That's the problem Russ started having. I believe that's what it done caught him to him now as he got older. But I believe the Ravens are going to be the Ravens. Miami, that's my sleeper team. Like I've stated before, is Tua. He's the only downfall of that entire team. Because if your third option is running a 4-2 and your first option is running basically a 4 flat, there should be no reason why you're not putting up at least 40 or 30 plus a game. Even if you play a Browns defense or a top 5 defense, you should at least be putting up 20 plus. So that's gonna be the problem with Miami is the quarterback situation. New York, I believe both their teams is gonna be New York. That they just do what they do. Over on the West Coast, the Chargers, I believe they're another sleeper team. Herbert,
that division is going to be tough too because not just the Chargers. I think the Raiders are going to be better too.
You think the AFC West is going to be competitive?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see the number one seed coming out of the West being the Chiefs. I think each one of those teams, with having Harbaugh there, I think makes the Chargers better. Like you were just about to say like that.
I don't know because Harbaugh he getting sued. Ain't he getting sued right now?
Well, from the NCAA, does that matter anymore, dude? Like seriously. Seriously, he already knew what he's like. Listen, I'm already gonna take this L, take my suspension. I'm gonna win the national championship. I'm gonna go back to the NFL and I'm gonna cash in back there. Listen, he come into a good situation. You still got Bosa and Mack on that defense. Yeah, you lost to Keenan Allen, but I think Herbert is still a top 10, potentially top 5 quarterback in this league. But I still think the Raiders are still a good team too. I think everyone, Antonio Pierce has got that defense playing nasty. The only real question is what happens with that quarterback situation. I mean, that's the real question is what can that offense do? That they're going to have a good defense. I think that defense is going to win them at least 4 games this season. I can guarantee that.
Teams that I think the teams that nobody's talked about, like the NFC South, the Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, that division is so weak. Yeah, that division, no offense.
I wouldn't be surprised if that division had a losing record. I'm just saying.
Hold on, wait. I know
winner might have a losing record this season.
I know you're a Philly fan, but that team don't became the new NFC East. Let's be honest. It was a few years the NFC East was super weak.
The NFC, it's been the NFC least for the listen, it's the top 2 teams, and then the bottom 2 teams have like the max 5 wins. It makes no sense. Like it's literally you look at what the first 2 teams always have more than 10 wins, but you go to 3rd and 4th in that division, and it's like 4 wins, 3 wins. Like it's always that bad.
Yeah, the NFC South, that division is kind of weak. Another sleeper team, I believe Houston is going. I think they're going to be a wild card team, but I think they're going to sneak in to being a wild card team just because. Yeah, I feel like it was a lot of hype train last season. I believe that team is
blues is a real thing, brother. The sophomore blues is a real thing.
That team, the Houston Texans are a super young team, but I believe they're going to. I think when teams start figuring them out mid-season, they're going to have a little problem. But I believe they're going to be okay. The Jaguars, I do not believe in Trevor Lawrence. I don't know why Stop. The Jaguars are not that team.
Poor Doug Peterson, man. Poor Doug Peterson. Just always getting the wrong quarterback.
He does. What's the other teams nobody talk about? The Rams.
I already said people sleeping on the LA Rams, brother.
You believe so?
Listen, that offense is legit, man.
Yeah, but they get old though. They got a lot of old big time players.
Puka's old,
huh?
I said Puka and Cooper Kupp are old.
I
mean, Matthew Stafford is like father time at this point in time, but I mean, he holding up pretty well. He damn near he had them almost in the playoffs, right? Even with as bad, as bad as things were. So I mean, I think the real question is how do they replace a guy like Aaron Donald? And some could say that the Eagles have that same problem here. Like I said, they figured out that problem before Jason Kelsey left. But
another team is the Colts. The Colts, they don't become like a team where post Peyton Manning and the Andrew Luck era, they're like you're just their team. Like they don't have. I mean, they have good.
Got no faith in Anthony Richardson?
Huh?
No faith in him?
No, he good. What's the running back they got? What's the running back they got?
The kid who held out last year. Oh man, what was his name?
Yeah, the running back. I know Colts fans, if you watch, you gonna be bad. But the running back,
things are gonna kill me right now.
Like the Colts are just one of them teams where y'all good, but it's like,
hey, listen. They let their best cornerback go, and he's here in Philadelphia. Isaiah Rodgers.
Who?
Isaiah Rodgers. We stole that from him, right? Because he was their number one. But he got hit up with that the gambling on his team thing, so they suspended him for last season.
Oh yeah, we even mentioned the Packers.
I think they're so overrated. That's why I didn't mention them. I think the Bears are going to be better, but I think the Lions are still going to do what they do. They're going to have like 12 wins. Be a good playoff team in that divisional winner. I think the Jordan Love thing is going to get exposed this season. We'll see what happens week 1 in Sao Paulo, brother.
I believe I said that on previous podcasts. Well, I believe the Packers are just. I believe they got the cowboy effect going. That's like you trying to hype up your players, which I respect it, but is that going to equate to wins and playoff success?
Listen, I'm not saying that Jordan Love isn't a good NFL quarterback. That's not what I'm saying. I sat there and watched 2 years ago. Eagles were up 3 touchdowns on them before the game was over. It was within a score. So I mean, Jordan Love don't quit. He's a good football player. He makes good throws. He's a field general. I just don't think it was worth the contract he got, the money he got. Like I said. Makes my GM look great because now Jalen Hurts is now the 8th best paid quarterback in the league. There's all these guys in front of him that shouldn't be. So, listen, I'm ready for the season. Last one, brother. We were talking about the Hall of Fame, right? So if you got your pick for the Hall of Fame, you got to vote to put somebody in. Who are you voting for? Are you voting for Brown? Are you voting for a past superstar you feel that should be getting some love that should get in there? What are you feeling like?
I got Luke Kuechly, who played for the Panthers, 8 seasons, 7 Super Bowls, Defensive Player of the Year, the rookie Defensive Player of the Year. We already know what he did for the Panthers. Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. Come on now, I believe beast mode. They just need to go ahead and put him in there.
He's going to be in there eventually. I think he'll get in there before he gets in like the senior committee. The guy I want to see right now. Little homerish, former Eagle, former Raider, Eric Allen, part of the gangrene defense. Listen, go look at the interceptions and things of that nature. And listen, there's very few cornerbacks that were as good as Eric Allen. He's a guy that should be there. It's insulting.
I got Terrell Suggs and this dude. I feel like every year they go wait to something. Let me not say that. Michael Vick. When is the NFL gonna put Michael Vick in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think that's ever gonna happen. It might be a senior committee thing. Like when he gets in, and like when he's been there for more than like 20 years, I think he's gonna have to be an old man.
He's gonna be 90 and then walk in the wheelchair.
I don't know about 90. I think he's gonna be like 60 or so by the time he gets in. But it's gonna be one of those things where he gets in. Him and McNabb and things of that nature. They'll eventually get in, but not now. I don't think they'll get in the first 10 ballots. And I think Vick's been eligible at least for the last 5 years. But I don't know if he'll ever get in there. I mean, it's sad because he's got, equipment in the Hall of Fame and things of that nature, but it's rough, man. I think NFL is, in my opinion, is an easier Hall of Fame when we're looking across the board. I think baseball is the hardest. It's the most political. It's the most ridiculous.
What's his name? What's the Barry Bonds?
Not just Barry, Pete Rose, Mark McGuire, like all those guys. Like we're sitting there villainizing these guys for the league, sitting there like, hey, like, we need to save baseball. We're not really getting people in the stands anymore. And they just do whatever you wanted. And then all of a sudden, when everyone started wondering and trying to, and like seeing these guys that were like bean poles, and then like 3 seasons later they got freaking forearms like freaking like weightlifters. I wonder, like, but I'm not punishing these guys. I'm not punishing the Jose Canseco's of the world. I'm not punishing the Sammy Sochas of the world. That was the environment that MLB breeded. But to sit there and say Barry Bonds wasn't a Hall of Fame caliber player before the steroids era is absolutely ridiculous. He used to absolutely murder my Phillies when those early 90 Pirate teams, him and Andy Van Slyke and whatnot. So don't be sitting there telling me, oh, well, I don't want to hear the steroids. I don't want to hear it. Because I mean, Alex Rodriguez is another one. He was a little second baseman in Seattle. All of a sudden, he's this huge third baseman playing for the Yankees. Like, oh, I wonder what happened. No one's that stupid. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
so you think what
we did with a period of time in combat sports when they allowed TRT. They were like, all right, we're going to allow TRT in MMA. I wonder what was going to happen. Them guys were jacked to the gills. These guys are like, oh, we're just having horse meat. Yeah, right. Horse meat. My left testicle. Get out of here with that. But
who you guys
stars that we know, they weren't just stars. That they were greats. But they seen what was going on. Like Jeff Bagwell. Jeff Bagwell was a barely a 20 home run guy. All of a sudden in the steroid era, he pops up to over 500 home runs. Like, come on, guys. We already know what it is. I'm not punishing these guys. I mean, do you want to put an asterisk? Fine. Put a freaking asterisk next to it. But we just sit there and say, we know this is from the steroid era. We get it. Don't sit there and take something away from what they would have already rightfully earned beforehand. That's all I'm saying. There's some of those guys that were absolutely fringe guys and things of that nature. But there were some that you absolutely knew that they were headed that way anyways. So, like, are you going to punish Rafael Palmeiro? You're going to tell him that his 500 home runs, 3,000 hits isn't worth a Hall of Fame run? I'm not.
I believe the MLB just be having sympathy classes. Like,
I don't think writers should have anything to do with who goes in the Hall of Fame. There should be a committee through, like, the league's player association, and they vote, not writers. There should be a writers vote for one ballot. They vote in one player per season The rest is done by the people who were involved with Major League Baseball. I mean, it's crazy. We're pivoting from that just because it is the hardest Hall of Fame to get into.
Okay.
I mean, is there any other sport that's like has this crazy reserve of stars that are waiting to get into Hall of Fame?
NBA.
NBA, I don't think they're as hard as just, I don't think they always elect as many as they can. When you look at the NFL, it's at least 5 guys.
Mm.
Right? Baseball, it's on a percentage, so you might have 1 guy or you may have 5 guys. You may have 7 guys. It depends on how the writers decide to vote that season, which I think
For all my hockey fans,
I think it's ridiculous. But do you hear a lot of these hockey players waiting for guys to go in the Hall of Fame that are overdue? No. But then again, hockey hasn't had some steroid scandal or anything like that. Crazy, because I think they probably should, considering that's probably one of the hardest sports to play in the world. You got to learn how to ice skate and actually play the sport. That's rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's soccer with frozen sticks. frozen sticks.
Yeah, I see.
But NBA, no, I don't think NBA is hard. I just think that they hold this certain level where like you have to get here, and if you're below that level, that they're not even, you were a star like Sean Kemp. Do you feel like Sean Kemp should be in the Hall of Fame? He's probably one of the greatest dunkers ever, right?
No.
Does that make him Hall of Fame worthy?
No.
Right? Like Dominique Wilkins, I believe he is in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, he in it.
But he had the like we talk about that bar for numbers. When you average just when your numbers say so, then yes. But it's like one of those things where we talk about like everyone wants to talk about GOAT. Where I'm not going to get into that on this episode. But it's like what there's so many things that are subjective. But I think it's without a doubt that baseball is absolutely the hardest Hall of Fame to get into. They need to revamp it. They need to redo it. I think when you look at the other 3 major sports, we don't have these problems really. Like we have discussions in the NFL where it's just because so many guys have played for so long. You have 53 53 men on a roster. Oh, this sport has been around for over 100 years now. So yeah, you're gonna have some areas where you feel some guys should get in.
Yeah, it's every era. You have some guys who don't get in who should.
But Eric Allen will always be my pick until he gets in. Gang green defense. Eric Allen will be my pick if I had one. Gang green defense. One of the few guys to shut down the likes of freaking Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice. He even played with Jerry Rice in Oakland. So it's like it's one of those things where I feel like he's long overdue. Any last words before we wrap this one up, brother?
My name is TJ McKinley. Thanks, Steve, for having me on. You can follow me at Mr. TJ Savage. Follow my LinkedIn, TJ McKinley, YouTube, TJ McKinley, and I hope I'm on more in the future.
All right, everyone. Well, that was that. Week 2 of the preseasons here. We're getting down to the last 2 weeks before we get to the kickoff of the season. Like I said, a lot of things to be excited for. It don't matter if you're an Eagles fan, Browns fan, Titans fan. It don't matter. We all got something to be excited for. It should be an exciting season. So with that being said, I'm Steve. That was TJ. We'll catch you on the rebound, guys. Peace out.